Buenos dias, Zamboanga. Welcome sa Kapihan na Zamboanga sa SM City Mindpro. Hatid sa inyo ng Philippine Information Agency, Mindanao Communicators Network, SM City Mindpro, Mindanao Cable Television at e-media. We are live via PIA Western Mindanao Facebook page and via cable televisions at MCTV and e-media, and also at One TV Philippines and other government agencies' Facebook pages. Welcome and happy Kapihan Wednesday po sa lahat ng ating manonood ngayong araw. Pag-uusapan po natin ang patungkol sa ating kahandaan kung sakasakaling magkaroon tayo ulit ng sakuna dito sa Zamboanga Peninsula. Makakasama po natin from the PHIVOLCS-Zamboanga, we have Engineer Alan Romela Bayog, the Science Research Analyst po and Head of PHIVOLCS-Zamboanga. Welcome, sir, sa ating program once again.
Antes de todo, buenas con el PIA 9 y también con el mga vivientes tamira con este programa. Buenas.
It's nice to have you back po, Engineer Romel, no, dito sa ating program. Sir, first of all, we are experiencing recently no yung ating mga earthquake incidents dito sa Philippines, not only in Zampen but also in the Philippines. So, what is the implication of this, sir?
Okay, the implication why we have earthquakes here in the Philippines is that the Philippines is seismically active. So that would be the implication. Now, as a result, an average of 20 earthquakes per day. So meaning to say, for the entire Philippines, we have 20 earthquakes today. Then tomorrow there will be another 20, and the next there will be another 20. So that is the average number of earthquakes per day. So meaning to say, Philippines is seismically active because of its location along the kung tinatawag nilang ring of fire.
So far, sir, for Zampen, ilan po yung mga na-experience nating earthquake?
Well, for Zampen, since January to present, today,
yes,
the total number of earthquakes platted nasa 192 na.
Okay.
Now, compared to 2000
last year,
so we have an increase of more than 200% in terms of earthquakes.
dapat po ba tayong kabahan dito sa mga number of na naranasan natin na earthquakes?
Well, dapat siguro kabahan tayo because one thing is we need to be prepared. And that would be it. Dapat preparado tayo because if we are not prepared for such thing, then definitely it will equate to a different scenario.
Yes. You mentioned po an increase of earthquake dito sa Zampen so far this year. So will there be a possibility that a high magnitude of earthquake will hit Zamboanga Peninsula?
Well, the possibility is always there, ma'am. Because if you're going to base the historical account of Zamboanga Peninsula, we have two very, very strong, significant events. Way back in 1976, we have one, which is around magnitude 8.1. And the first was in September 21, 1897. We have also a 7.5 event. So looking at the historical events, majority of the events that took place within the area of Zampen are all greater than magnitude 7.
Ayun. Sir, siguro po sa mga nanonood na ngayon, we are curious, what is the cause or what causes this frequent earthquake po?
Well, yung cause kasi of an earthquake is that there's a sudden displacement of rocks below the Earth's surface. Now, why sudden? Because both of these rocks are not stagnant, but rather they are pushing one another. Then they could release energy in terms of small earthquakes, and at the same time, they could store energy o pwede sila ahunta puwersa. Then by the time it will rupture or release an energy, and that's the problem because the longer the time you store energy, the magnitude is also equivalent to a very, very strong earthquake.
Okay. What we know, sir, is after an earthquake, meron talagang possibility of aftershocks. So, are we going to be experiencing po etong mga aftershocks after an earthquake?
Yes, definitely. If the earthquakes are quite strong, you can expect aftershocks because the process of having an aftershock is those rocks below the Earth's surface medyo nag-a-adjust pa. So during the time of adjustment, that is the one we call aftershocks. So once the rock is fully settled down, then that's the time the aftershocks will also cease.
We are always asking po, sir, how ready are we po ba? Or how ready are we of experiencing strong earthquake or aftershocks?
Now, I could not answer that directly to you if you ask me if you are ready, because there are certain things that we need to see first before answering if you are ready. Right now, I don't see those things first, but in a way, the path that we are going is on of being prepared is on that direction. But if you're going to ask me, are we ready for an earthquake here in Zamboanga City? Let's say for a large magnitude earthquake. Well, definitely, I could not say that we are ready yet.
And then after that, sir, of course, we mentioned about the aftershocks. Isa sa mga aftershocks na pwedeng mangyari is, of course, tsunami. Gano'n po ba gano'n po tayo ka-ready in terms of kapag yun po sakasakaling ma-struck dito sa Zamboanga Peninsula?
Now, the tsunami preparedness and earthquake preparedness should go along. Now, this is the problem because right now, we don't have mechanism for us to assess the preparedness level of our city. Now, we don't have the tools yet. But basically, if you're going to look at it, we don't have the identified evacuation areas for tsunami, especially the West Coast, likewise with the East Coast. Now, these are facilities that we need during a tsunami. And at present, we don't see that.
So, how are we going to prepare po, no? Especially individually, paano po tayo makakapaghanda if an earthquake will struck po dito sa Zampen?
Well, the preparedness should start in the family. Okay? Basic preparedness should start in the family, then workplace, then community. Now, as a family, well, definitely, you need to orient the members of the family. What are the things that you should know? Then second is, you have the identification of safe and unsafe areas within your house. It goes with the workplace. It goes with the community. Then, third is the go bag. We need to have a go bag. So that would be it. Then inside your go bag, essential things like medicine, documents, clothing, food, those things. And last is what you call the contact numbers of emergency what they call this addresses. For example, the police, CDRIMO, those things, hospitals. You need to have a contact likewise with the members of the family.
That's one of the important things talaga na dapat nating ihanda. Like what Engineer Labayog said, start within your household to get prepared. And I'm sure, no, yung ating mga LGUs, hopefully naka-prepare na rin sila when an earthquake comes. And then, sir, we always conduct earthquake drills, no? How helpful po ba itong mga ginagawa natin na drills?
Now, the conduct of earthquake drill, if you've noticed that we keep on having this earthquake drill, and the purpose of having an earthquake drill is for us to have this mindset of being prepared. But the problem is, every time we conduct the same thing, same sequence of earthquake drill, that's the problem. Because we became stagnant on that kind of mindset. Now, I think the point here is we should level up when it comes to earthquake drill. Why? Because there are LGUs, MDRIMOs, their offices are located along the coastline. And yet, when we conduct earthquake drill, they all stay there in that place where it's a stone throw away from the shoreline. So the next question is, what are you going to do? So these are the things. Then, aside from having this earthquake drill, why don't we have this kind of, instead of executing the drop, cover, and hold, try having a drill on communication. We don't have that because most of the time when we conduct earthquake drill, it is always oriented the drop, cover, and hold, then evacuation area. So let's level it up. Start with other kind of drill that can be related to an earthquake. For example, the communication drill.
Are we going to call first?
Yes. We don't have that. Admittedly, sorry to say, the earthquake drill that we have, the kind of mindset that we have is stagnant.
Okay. So, sir, with that po, no, how big is the possibility? Kasi you mentioned may history na talaga yung Zampen of tsunami, yung mga higher magnitude of earthquake. So, how big is the possibility that it will happen soon or dito po sa Zampen?
Okay. The possibility is always there. And there are two, Zamboanga City or Zamboanga Peninsula is surrounded by two trenches. We have the Cotabato Trench on the east coast, and we have also the Sulu Trench on the west coast. Now, in between these two trenches, the Sulu Trench is what we call medyo hinog na siya. Because in terms of reoccurrence or dormancy, the Sulu Trench has been dormant for 125 years. Then the Cotabato Trench around 46 years. Now, 125 years of dormancy, meaning to say, you are accumulating stress for 125 years. Now, that's the problem because an ordinary person or the ordinary guy would say, "Oy, it's okay. There's no earthquake for 125 years." But on the other side of it, you should be more afraid because there's no earthquake for 125 years and the tremendous amount of energy being stored is quite high. Now, the moment it will release an energy, then there you go. It will generate a very, very strong earthquake.
Okay. So, we are talking about this, hindi naman sa tinatakot natin no, yung mga viewers natin, but for them to be ready.
Yes.
Anytime, anywhere.
Yes. Yeah, we don't have the purpose of threatening all the people here,
Yes.
but rather giving them the right information.
Yes, that's true. So with that, Engineer Labayog, any message po sa lahat ng ating manonood, viewers dito po sa ating program?
Well, my message is always the same. And that message is always let every day a disaster preparedness day. That's all.
That's true. So, simple, short yung message natin, but also impactful. And that's true that every day, we should always be prepared. Hindi lang during earthquake drills or during disaster month or disaster preparedness month. So, every day, we should be disaster ready. And kanina nga na-mention ni Engineer Labayog, how important yung mga important things that we should remember, yung ating pag-prepare sa household, sa workplace, and sa ating community, and yung ating go bag, that's very important. And also to know where to go first or who to call first, especially during disasters. So with that, thank you very much po.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much po, Engineer Labayog. It's nice to have you again here po sa ating program. And of course, maraming salamat po, no, Engineer Alan Romel Labayog of PHIVOLCS-Zamboanga. Maraming salamat also sa lahat po nating mga viewers. And to the following sponsors, we have Kamiseta, Karimadon, Arya's Coffee and Tea, and Kape Sur, all available here at SMCT Mindpro. Maraming salamat po. Available din po. Open pa rin ang ating vaccination area dito po sa SMCT Mindpro. So come and visit po to get your booster vaccination. With that, magkita-kita po tayo muli sa mga susunod pang episodes ng Kapihan na Zamboanga. Ito po si Myra Espinosa. Muchísimas gracias.